Oh, that was a weird dream I had, Rose. Hey, check it out. This thing's just conveniently deactivated for us. I think that's a little odd, because this was, again, such a big plot point that you need the disguise. Now that we don't have the disguise, it's just conveniently off. Game is absolutely no one's favorite MGS game. Anyone who says it's their favorite to play through is a liar trying to collect cool points, and their opinion should be discarded. I didn't say it. Corin said it. But, you know, there is honestly a lot about this game I do love. Again, I think the that was odd. The mechanics are quite good. Oh. Well, maybe the mechanics aren't that great if that can happen. That's a little odd. But no, the mechanics are good. The designs, I think, are incredible. I do really love Raiden's sneaking suit. I love Snake's sneaking suit. Metal Gear Ray is great. There's a lot about this game that I do like. But is it my favorite to play? No. And a lot of that has to do with not me totally just DSPing it here. Oh, I did not remember them coming out that rapidly. That's a little odd. Anyway, look, someone was really nice and repaired the bridge for us. I don't know how that happened, but that's cool. Right. I do quite like the game. I like the big shell visually. I like a lot of the visual elements, but again, the pacing is just really bad in my eyes. And maybe that's part of why I'm playing so sloppy, is because I know the game is just rushing me place to place, and I go, well, if you're going to rush me place to place, I mean, do I really need to play it well? Raiden's inexperienced, you know? He's just a little guy. He's not Solid Snake. It's the narrative themes, right? You don't have to play good if you have narrative themes. So maybe what I'm doing is adhering to some narrative themes. Hey, here's the RGB6. Now, we're on the cusp of something happening soon in the game that's a little odd, that I won't talk about quite yet. But we'll start with this, alright? So first off, we go back to the Strut-F warehouse, and we get the RGB-6. It's a 6-round grenade launcher, and you know me talking about Smash Brothers? Well, this is Snake's final smash in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, where he could aim. That's this weapon. Now, we were not instructed to get this weapon. There's no boss fight we need to overcome. There's no puzzle we need this for. It's just a grenade launcher for no reason. In addition to that, check it out.
Watch out, right.
Yep, IR sensors. We've got more
sensors.
Semtex. We've got more C4. He's going to tell us once again that we can shoot the little switch.
Make no mistake about it. Avoid contact.
I think he's going to tell us we can shoot it. Oh no, he's not going to tell us we can shoot it. Well, luckily we played the tanker, so this is like very trivial. Right? We can just shoot this. So we got a weapon for no reason that we don't really have any incentive to use because it's a big, noisy grenade launcher. Check it out. We get another weapon that we have no incentive to use. It's the M4. It's a different assault rifle. It's the one that the SEALs were using. So now we've got 2 assault rifles and a grenade launcher. But why? But why? Oh, they must be gearing us up for like a big crazy fight or something. I can only assume. Because why else would we get these things? They're certainly not completely arbitrary weapons. Oh, and look what's in here! Oh, the PSG one! oh, we sure are getting a lot of weapons that I'm sure will be used for, like, crazy things. That, wow, the pacing of this game went from, like, really, really slow to all of a sudden we get the level 3 card and we're getting all kinds of stuff. Wow, this is another weapon here, the PSG-1T. Boy, we sure did get a lot of stuff that was unearned and for no reason. Now, you might be noticing at this point that blue weapons are non-lethal. So we've got, you know, stun grenades and chaff grenades, 4 out of 20. They're blue. So we got blue grenade, blue sniper, blue handgun. Before you ask, unfortunately, there is no blue stinger. But they did load us up with a lot of stuff. So maybe the game's gearing up?
Nothing here.
Maybe we're at the point where things are going to start to get moving and we'll be able to go all the way through this shell and the next shell and do all kinds of crazy stuff? Is that... Is that what's about to happen? Check it out. If you shoot a guy and then just roll into him, he immediately gets knocked out. So yeah, when I talk about the pacing of this game, it's not just how the story is told. It's also the fact that they just make you do really weird stuff in really weird ways. I don't understand why we just got so many weapons. What's the point? What's the purpose? We're not going to have to use them all, like, on this next strut, are we? In MGS1, a really well-designed game, I likened all of the weapons to Zelda items. Items you would get, you know, in a Zelda game. Where each one is a very specific, very deliberate key or puzzle tool. You would often use them for, you know, navigating the dungeon or the facility, as it were, and then you would use them against the boss fight in a unique way. It's really good game design. Now, this game, we just got 4 weapons in a row that we weren't told to get. Most of them are copies or alternatives of stuff. You know, for example, now we've got 2 assault rifles. Well, they're both basically the FAMAs. They've got slightly different rates of fire, and the M4 can be equipped with a suppressor, which is nice. PSG-1, I mean, there was a whole story about getting the PSG-1 in MGS1. Now we're just kind of handed it and a secondary tranquilizer, PSG-1. And we've got this crazy thing that we've got no idea what it's for yet. That's odd. Also, what's odd is, check this out. Now, I'm going to waste some time. Let's put on the orange box. And let's just go here. Because this is a weight sensor, which stops the conveyor. And if we stand on the conveyor, yeah, look, check it out. We can get transported. Now, this is cute. Remember in MGS1, once again, where you could get to that snowfield and you could take the truck all the way back to the heliport, the first large area of the game. Oh, that guy's snoozing. And you could do this at any point in the game. You could go all the way back and you could get rations and ammo and items and stuff that you missed. Well, we've sort of got a version of that here. The different boxes we've collected can take us to different struts, but here's the thing. You just have to go across the bridge. You have to go across a tiny hallway to get to a tiny room. It doesn't really save you much time, especially not with that animation. Now, I'm sure someone with their thinking cap on would tell me that this is like, you know, a really big, like, narrative point and that I'm missing the subtle nuance. No, it just feels like a kind of pointless, mediocre sequel thing to me. It just seems like, oh, they didn't really get why that happened in the first game. They're just kind of doing it because the first one did it. And maybe someone with a bigger thinking hat would tell me that, well, no, that's the point, is that it's pointless. The point is that it's pointless is that it's pointless. To which I then go, well, if the point is everything's pointless, as postmodernism is, remember, postmodernism is not about saying a lot about society. It's about saying a lot through saying a lot of nothing. You just do something absurd for the sake of it, because that's not what you do. Things are supposed to have form and function. But here there's form, you know? But is there much function? Well, there's not function to the items we've gotten. To which I'm saying, hey, you're not the only one who can put your thinking cap on when it comes to MGS2, buddy. But whatever. Maybe, once again, I'm speaking too soon. Maybe they're about to make us go into another codec call and re-explain a mechanic that we already know, destroying Semtex. Look at those switches all the way over there. Look at them. Good thing I picked up that PSG-1 by just exploring the game freely. It's Pliskin, though. His rugged good looks and voice will soothe how we feel.
Right now. How's the situation over there?
So he's doing stuff.
Where is he?
Shell 2 core.
Oh, Shell 2. We were going to go to Shell 2.
I'm cut off
Okay.
from the core where I am. It's a mess.
Oh,
here.
no.
All right. I'm on my way to Shell 2 right now.
There are IR sensors
Yep.
in place on the connecting bridge.
He's going to
between
re-explain
shells
a
1 and
mechanic
2.
we already
If you
know,
break
but
the
it's
beams,
fine.
the
It's
Semtex
fine.
will
Even though
go
the Colonel
off.
just told us
Yeah,
about
I
this.
heard them
It's
talking
fine. It's
about
fine.
that.
Target the control units and destroy them. Make
Don't
sure
shoot
you
the
don't shoot
Semtex,
the
it'll
Semtex.
explode.
What do the control units look like?
Take a look with your binoculars.
All right. Now again, we played the tanker. We did all the things. We know about this.
That's the Semtex.
Yep, that's the Semtex. And that's the
That must
control
be the
unit.
Control unit.
So, oh, look. Look how far away they are. Well, you can shoot a couple of these. You can actually shoot quite a few with the SOCOM. Even that one, I believe. Yep. So, you can shoot most of these with the SOCOM. But, spoilers, hey, that's what they wanted us to get the PSG-1 for. So the PSG-1 does have a purpose, but unlike MGS-1, where the PSG-1 being so far away and us needing to backtrack was a plot point and was meant to extend the gameplay, no, we can just grab it. We can just grab the key before we need the key. Isn't there, like, something about game design where that's bad? Giving the player access to a key before they actually know they need to get the key. Isn't that one of those, like, core tenets of game design that should never be ignored? Hey. You guys are kind of clipping and bunched together. Oh, no! Didn't mean to do that. Well, that's fine. It's not like there's going to be any more questionable game design here. Now, you can see that behind this flag is another one, but the flag seems to be like... Oh, no, the flag's not bulletproof. Okay. Okay. Well, we've gotten all but one, and wouldn't you know it, this is why we really need the PSG-1. This is why we really need... So maybe you got up to this point, you got all of them without the PSG-1, and you go, oh, no. Oh, no. I can't shoot this. So maybe you don't need the key. You don't know you need the key. Whoops. But it's still weird they let you get it ahead of time. I think it's very odd. It's not great game design. Okay. Well, we've done it. Hey. We've deactivated all of the traps. And we're about to proceed forward. But before we proceed forward, it's always a good idea to check your 6 to make sure no one's behind you, right? Hey, it's me. Hi. I know, we're kind of breaking immersion here. Remember I was talking about game design? Let's continue to talk about game design. Let's continue to talk about my mixed feelings of this game as we break the fourth wall, as we play with the player's expectations and all, right? That's what we're doing here. So, one of the key tenets of bad game design is giving the player a key before they know they need it. People don't like that because you get an item and you go, what the hell's this for? And then you go to a door, you know, you get the blue key and you're like, what the hell's this blue key for? And then you see the blue door and you're like, oh, that's what it's for. You're not really supposed to do that. You're supposed to let the player see something and then realize there's a puzzle. And then you go back and you go, oh, now I have the blue key. I can use it on that blue door that I prominently was shown that I couldn't. You know, it's a pretty basic thing. Another basic thing that people hate is they really, really hate when a cutscene undoes all of your prior efforts. So, I'm going to spoil an event that's about to occur for you. We're going to cross that threshold, and a cutscene's going to take over. Now, we spent our entire time on the big shell so far dealing with those pesky bombs, including the pesky bombs on this bridge. We couldn't let the bombs explode on this bridge because then the bridge would be destroyed. We wouldn't be able to get back and forth between Shell 1 and Shell 2. Well, guess what, buddy? By the end of this cutscene, those bombs are going off. Yeah, this bridge is getting destroyed. And you might notice something else. With this bridge destroyed, we can't freely move between Shell 1 and Shell 2. So remember the game design I was talking about? Remember how MGS1, up until the final moments, you can return to that heliport? And you can go back and get rations and items and all sorts of things. And maybe you can just wreak some havoc. Maybe there's a killer inside you. And you just want to go and play with all your fun video game toys and just, you know, blow up the genome soldiers and all that. And the game allows you to do that because you can use your cardboard boxes and go back, you know. And there's only one really hard progress point, which is putting in the final key and activating Metal Gear Rex, and then you're locked into the end of the game. Well, what if I told you that this bridge is a hard progress point? What if I told you that once we cross this threshold, there's no going back? I hope you, hey, I know you're trying to look away at that door, but you got to look at me, Raiden. Yeah, that's right. What if I told you can't go back to Shell 1 ever again? I hope you got everything you wanted there. I hope you're all filled up, all stocked up on not only items, but you're satisfied with what you've done. Because there's no signposting. No one tells you be careful, go across that bridge. No, nothing. You are locked in. And more importantly, you're locked out from that shell. And would you believe if I told you that everything we're going to do in gameplay from this point forward is basically a beeline to the end of the game? And there's not actually much touching the controller I'm going to be doing from here on out. There's really not. There's a couple of rooms. There's like maybe 5, 6 total rooms that are all, for the most part, smaller than what we've seen so far. And with the cutscenes, we're maybe like, I don't know. Maybe we're like, maybe we've still got 2/3 of the game to go in terms of sheer cutscene length. But in terms of gameplay, this is the halfway point of the game. This is the halfway point of the plant. If I were to skip everything that would happen, it would maybe take me like another hour to beat the game. But we can't do that. We're here for the cutscenes. And herein lies where it's not just negative feelings, it's mixed feelings, because this cutscene that's going to happen is really cool, man. There's a bunch of cool dudes that show up. There's a bunch of cool lines that happen. There are explosions. There are reveals. There are big things happening that are so cool, and I love this cutscene, but I hate everything this cutscene represents in terms of video games and game design. So again, not to be a negative Nancy, not to, you know, take your thinking cap off of your head and stomp it on the ground, but maybe this game is not a flawless masterpiece. Maybe it's just a pretty okay sequel. But I think that's enough yapping from me. I think let's just move forward and just forget everything I said and enjoy the cool cutscene. Okay, let's go.
Raiden, I found us a ride.
Oh, cool.
I'm all ears.
One of the enemy's Kasatkas.
Is it in good shape?
Full tank. I'm heading for
Oh,
Shell
nice.
1 now. What about that Harrier?
It's not on the heliport here.
Oh, it's not.
Good.
That's right. It
I'll
took
set
off.
this
We
one
know
down
that.
There, then.
Can you cover the hostages? They're being held on level B1 in the core. Pliskin, you didn't happen to find any other places where hostages were being held, did you?
No, nothing
Nope.
like that.
Okay.
How many hostages are there?
There's a few short of 30. One dead and several wounded.
Several wounded from the
Kasatka's
ninja
cargo area
deflecting
will
a
hold
bunch of
13
bullets.
Max.
What about the other Kasatka?
I sabotaged it. It can't come after us if it can't get off the ground. We'll have to make 2 trips.
Can you fly a Kasatka?
I have a pilot who's flown the civilian model, the KA-62 in VR. There's not a whole lot of difference between the military KA-60 and the civilian model.
Cleared for takeoff.
Hey, we recognize that
Let me
voice.
introduce you to my partner, Otacon.
We recognize that
Otacon?
name.
Hey, Raiden. Nice to meet you.
Ah, it's Otacon.
Damn.
Oh,
I'll talk to you later.
Colonel, I need some answers from you. Who exactly is Pliskin and his partner?
Colonel doesn't look too
I know
happy.
what you're thinking.
It keeps coming back to Shadow Moses. And now this Otacon.
AKA Hal Emmerich, PhD,
Oh, he's got a
Shadow
PhD.
Moses survivor.
Rose?
Snake and Otacon both became fugitives after Shadow Moses, wanted for acts of terrorism.
An anti-Metal Gear organization.
Yeah.
They sabotaged and destroyed countless Metal Gear units. throughout
Countless
the
Metal
world.
Gear units
And
throughout the
were
world.
responsible
Sure
for
wish they
the
made a
incident
game
2
about that.
years ago that
A game that
necessitated
takes
the
place
construction
between
of the Big
MGS 1 and
Shell.
2, where it's just Snake and
and his
Otacon and
partner
Philanthropy
aren't
going around and
terrorists.
blowing up
Jack,
Metal
why are
Gears.
you
That would have been a
defending
cool sequel.
I look back on what I've done here so far.
Yeah.
And things like training and sense of duty alone
I look
won't
back
get
at what
you
we've
through a
done here so
sneaking
far,
mission
too.
like this.
And it's,
Jack,
you
are
know.
you okay?
You need something higher. I can't think of the right word.
Guts and honor.
It has to be pure will, backed up by courage or ideals or something like that. I'd stake my life on it. The solid snake that saved Shadow Moses couldn't turn into a terrorist.
Maybe that's true, but they went down with that tanker 2 years ago. We even recovered Snake's body.
And the DNA test results on the body say it's him.
Wow.
Jack, I know what you're saying, but Snake
But there's
is
at least
dead.
2
He
snakes
can't
here.
Be here. Not even as
And
this
we
Dr.
know
Hal
because we
Emmerich.
beat
But
MGS
that
1,
also
there's
means
3
that he
snakes
can't be the
total
terrorist leader behind this thing.
behind this thing. Who could be behind this thing? We already know there's 3 total snakes because we beat MGS 1. Again, some of these ruses and reveals, if you had just paid attention to the text, not that hard to figure out. Check it out, though! This is Pequot. No, it's not Pequot. It's Otacon. And Pliskin. Definitely not Solid Snake. You know how I know it's not Solid Snake? You know how I know it's not Solid Snake? Because there's Solid Snake right there!
I've been waiting for you. A messenger from the Patriots. Where do I know him from?
So you're the boss around here.
No, not just around here. I'm the boss to surpass Big Boss himself.
Yeah, that line!
Solid Snake.
It's Solid Snake!
No, that is not Solid Snake.
Ah! Oh my god, that sassy head turn. There's that line! So again, both of these characters have the same voice in Japanese.
What a pleasant surprise, brother.
And man, it's so cool hearing 2 different
Don't say you've forgotten me. Snake.
performances from the same actor. Granted, this character, his voice actor in English, is still great.
Snake?
Right, take cover.
But I think the Japanese version is pretty special too. Anyway, look! There it is! Everything's exploded! Oh my god, he's dashing, he's on fire. The music's cool. Everything's awesome now.
Stop impersonating him.
Oh, look, he blocks bullets with his hands! He doesn't even need a high-frequency blade!
Whole different game from Liquid.
It is a different game. Oh! What else can you do? What else can you do? What's he doing? He hulks out! He hulks out in his robot suit! He's so cool! Why does no one talk about this guy? Have you ever heard anyone talk about this man? Ever? Solidus Snake? No one talks about this dude! Why? He's so fucking cool, man! He's got his jet black armor. Look, he's got the blast suit thing. He got big jumps. He hulks out. Everyone wants to talk about narrative themes. No one wants to talk about this rad motherfucker. By the way, we know Solidus Snake.
That the best you can do?
It was revealed last game he's former President George Sears. That's not a spoiler because, again, if you play MGS1, you know that. It's the third Snake. He's the best Snake. He's so cool. Oh. Well, I guess...
Did I get it?
No, I guess Solid Snake's still the best. Oh, wow. I thought he was going to be on screen longer. It's such a... Ah, look at that! He stands on a Harrier jet! He's so fucking cool! A Harrier jet piloted by a vampire! And he just stands on it, man! He's so cool! Why does no one talk about Solidus?
We're in trouble. It's the Harrier.
Why does no one talk about Solidus? He's so cool, man! Am I the only Solidus lover in the chat? In the world? Look at any D-Hulks. Ah, man, this guy's so rad. So yeah, I do really hate that this...
Needs only one big boss.
Look at him, he just walks on it.
I'll drown you.
Look, he's not in a Hind D, he's in a Harrier. He's a Snake Bro. He's one of the Snake Brothers, and he's in a big, look, fighter... Ah, he just blew up more of the C4. Oh. Yeah, so as much as I really hate that that's a lock-off from progress, and it undoes everything we did in the cutscene, I fucking love that cutscene. Solidus Snake is so cool. By the way, you want to talk about unearned weapons? He just gives us the Stinger Launcher.
The Kasaka can't stand up to the Harrier. You have to shoot the Harrier down.
Snake, we got company.
I'm counting on you.
So as you might have guessed, this is basically the Hind D fight from MGS1, with a couple little twists. For one, they're playing Yell Dead Cell, which is such a good track. But yeah, basically the Harrier fight. Sorry, the Hind fight. This is the Harrier fight. Snake gives us a bunch of stuff. We'll take that. Snake, he's a bro. Oh, that's right. Jet planes are fast. So we gotta be careful. But we still just shoot it with our Stinger missiles that, again, kind of just given. When the plane goes overhead, if you flip over that railing, you're safe from it, because guess what? When Raiden does that funny little flip, he's like entirely made, his entire body turns into invincibility frames. So if we see that little gleam that he does, means he's going to fly overhead. Now, he did shoot us there. Burn, baby! Solidus is so cool. He says stuff like that. He says, burn, baby. Yeah, he can shoot us when we're hanging off the ledge, but not when we're flipping over it. Or flipping back up. So you're basically invincible. It's kind of funny. It's not a particularly difficult fight. Now he does this. Which, I don't know, just kind of reminds me of, like, something you'd see in, like, a Super NES game. Just seeing, like, a plane just kind of hover there and fire its machine guns at you. He's not very effective, though. Which, again, like I said, mixed feelings, because at this point you're like, well, that was a cool cutscene at least, and you're like, oh, wait, this really is just a worse version of the Hind fight. He's not even trying to hide from us. He's just, like, faster and more aggressive, which is cool, because he's a whole different game from Liquid. Oh, look, cluster missiles. How do I dodge these? Oh, you just do that.
You're tougher than I thought.
You're tougher than I thought. He knows about invincibility frames. Which, yeah, destroyed more of the bridge. Which is cool. But again, it just undoes all the work we did, man. Solidus, you're not helping the game design here, buddy. You got a lot of, what do they call it now? He's aura farming? Is that what the kids say? This is where it reminds me of like a Sega Genesis game or something. I don't know, just the way that's framed. It reminds me of like the first boss from Vector Man. Not much to it once you really get into it. It's okay. Again, a lot of presence to it in terms of just... like, it was cool when he jumped on the jet. It was cool when he hulked out, but yeah. A Harrier's definitely, you know, a little more frightening than a Hind, but my understanding of VTOL aircraft is that they're not really that great. Like, they're very dangerous. And yeah, you can just tank a lot of his hits. So the things that you can't just iframe out of, you can just sort of tank. Just gonna heal. Just gonna heal.
I'll let you go out in style.
He's gonna let me go out in style. Yep, just wait until you hear the beep and flip over the rail. I don't know if that's what you're meant to do, but that's what... once again, I figured that out pretty early. Oh no, he's doing his Vector Man thing again. Which, like, I guess I'm supposed to dodge. I don't really know, because I've always just sort of tanked it. Do I think Solidus wrote his own speeches as President George Sears? Now, here's the thing. Because no one talks about Solidus, there's like no information about his past. We get a little bit more. But we never really hear much about what kind of a president he was. We'll get a little bit more in a future game, but I would love to know, yeah, what his political platforms were. Anyway, hey, check it out, we beat him. That was an okay boss fight. His eye. But it's his left eye. Oh my god!
There's something coming up.
Look, it's Ray! And he catches the jet plane in his mouth! It's so cool, man! Why does this game have to do cool things? This is what just makes it be a kind of mediocre sequel, is when it does something original and neat like that.
It's already active.
Yeah, that's the Marine Ray, Raiden. It says it right there. That's been active for 2 years, brother. When the game does something, like, unique that MGS1 didn't do, it's usually pretty fucking cool. By the way, that bridge is fucked. Also, remember we did so much work to stop the shell from exploding? Yeah, well, look at all these explosions! Everything we've done so far in this game was for nothing and no one, because cutscenes undid it. At least they were cool cutscenes, I guess. Oh, that's so cool, though. Oh, they manually tracked in the jet there. It was jittering a little.
They got my eye.
They did. Look, it's Vamp. I mean, we already knew he was in there.
Vamp, go!
Well, look what Vamp can do. Look, 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 look. Watch what he's gonna do. Oh, there's Raiden. He's not being very cool. Oh, I can't get up. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Look at him. He's running on the water. There's still cool stuff in this game, man, and even the cutscenes aren't completely terrible.
It's running on water.
There's cool stuff that happens. Some of the coolest stuff happens in the cutscenes. It's just, again, I have to call it pacing issues and game design issues. Because I agree with a lot of the message of the game and the narrative themes, but we'll talk to it when we get to it. But does it mean the game's fun to play most of the time? No. Is it fun to watch most of the time? It's fun to watch when crazy shit like that happens.
Raiden, you all right?
Yeah. How about you guys?
Barely managed, but we're all right.
The chopper?
We need some time for repairs.
Oh,
The president's all yours.
okay. Can I ask you something?
What?
Are you the Snake? They said you were dead.
No, not me. There are still too many things I need to do.
Pliskin, you're so
You're a
cool.
legend, and that's why I need to ask
Iroquois
you this.
Snake Pliskin.
Legend. A legend is nothing but fiction. Someone tells it, someone else remembers. Everybody passes
And he's so
it on.
humble.
I'm here because I was assigned to this
Snake is so
mission,
cool.
not because I want to. If I could,
So yeah,
I'd
what
be
a
out
shock.
of here in a second.
Pliskin was the real Solid Snake
How could you
all
come back
along,
to
and
all this? Why
the
keep
terrorist
fighting?
leader was the third
There's something my best
Solidus.
friend
We already
said
knew
to me
that.
once.
We
We're
as the
not
player
tools
already
of
knew
the
that.
government or anyone
Hey,
else.
look, he's quoting Gray
Fighting was
Fox.
the only thing I was good at, but at least I always fought for what I believed in.
What about the DNA results from that body?
That was Liquid's body.
Oh, look,
He
that
and
was...
Snake are identical on the
So-
genetic
yeah.
level.
Liquid?
A deception for our own protection. We stole his frozen body from some organization. Kind of a hassle, though.
That's all there is to it.
Are you two really an NGO?
Insofar as we're a non-profit organization of civilians advocating a cause, yes. The cause happens to be the eradication of Metal Gear.
It's a pretty
We
good
work
cause.
on our own, but it's a cause worth fighting for.
Yeah.
Why would you stick your neck out for something this risky?
That's the way I used to look at
Well,
it.
now that we're getting all the,
I was
now
holed
that
up
the
in the
game's
middle of
ramped up and
nowhere
we've
in
had a lot of
Alaska,
action,
drinking too much.
and we're
We
getting
have
the
a
plot
responsibility to
revelations,
coming
clearly
generations,
this is
to
where
the
we
world.
switch
What
to
responsibility?
Solid Snake, right?
To keep track of the mistakes we've made as a species.
We need to remember, to spread the word, to fight for change, and that's what keeps me
Oh, yeah, he's got
You think you can
life
change the
lessons and
future?
things he can impart on
as
us.
arrogant as that.
What you do isn't grassroots.
Okay, so it was all,
activism.
this
It's more
was
like
all the
terrorism.
ruse, right?
I admit that.
Look,
Our
and even
group,
he's like, yeah, I'm kind of a
Philanthropy,
bad guy,
received
it's
some
fine.
information. A new Metal Gear prototype was being developed here, and terrorists were planning to raid the facility. The information came from a very reliable source.
So you're here to...
We're here to stop all that. But I also have a personal motive.
Oh, dear.
Looks like the terrorists have his sister in the big
Oh,
ship.
no.
We're here on our own, not under
Oh,
any
wow, your
authority.
story's way more
We have
interesting
our
than
own
mine. I
battles.
sure do hope we
Otacon's
switch
here for
over to
someone.
you soon.
I'm not.
Right?
This is a military mission.
Right? We're gonna switch over?
Jack, are you all right?
Yeah, I
Just
guess.
barely.
You almost gave me a heart attack.
Sorry, it wasn't intentional.
I know
Getting
that.
sassy.
And I know I need to stay stronger.
Say a prayer for me, Rose, so I can come back.
You will make it back. I'm with you all the way, remember.
That means a lot to me, you know.
I'm going to save the data, okay, Jack?
Okay, that's cool. Can you call me Raiden, please? Everyone else is calling me Raiden. You're supposed to call me Can you call me Raiden? Please? For the mission?
Colonel, Metal Gear's already gone active.
It's not too late. You can still prevent a nuclear strike by securing the
No,
president. and
Raiden, that's
preventing
Metal Gear.
password
That's the
confirmation
Marine
from
Ray
taking
that doesn't have
place.
nuclear.
Get to the president. He's in the core
Okay.
section of Shell 2.
All right, get to
I'm
the
checking the
president.
satellite images. Looks like you can get to the core from the other side of Strut L.
Strut out.
The core hasn't gone under yet from what we can tell. Follow the railings down, then jump onto the pipes.
The only viable strut in the outer perimeter is the L. That attack just now doesn't make any sense. It's like they have no more use for this place.
Colonel, you were monitoring the codec calls. That man was the real Snake all along.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Don't let your guard down with him.
Why do you say that?
Because they were never a part of the simulation. They're an unknown factor.
You can take your simulation and... We're out here, we bleed, we die.
Calm down.
No.
I suggest that you do, Raiden. Even
No.
if that is Snake. That has
Guys are
no
being
bearing
weird.
on your mission.
The player's
You
losing
and Snake used to be on the same side.
patience with you. Raiden's
I don't
losing
understand.
patience with you.
I read about you and Snake in the darkness of Shadow Moses.
I don't give a damn what that piece of trash said. Do you get me?
Well, you're glitching out there a little bit, Colonel. Boy, that sure was an exciting ride, huh?